Hi, let's talk sprinting. So, I'm going to be talking about various topics on this channel. We're going to be talking everything from philosophy, athletics, to capital allocation investing. This particular episode is about sprinting. And you're like, what do you mean? Like sprinting? Like, no, I mean sprinting, like running fast, very fast. Okay. I'm talking about lactic sprinting. Okay. You've heard of the term lactate or lactic. We're not doing that on this particular episode. Alactic, as in A as in apple, lactic means full rest sprinting, very short duration sprinting, long rest sprinting. We are focused on maximal efficiency, maximal form, almost max speed, max acceleration, almost max speed. And you're like, well, you're crazy. No, I'm not. Okay. I've been doing this for 2 decades. And at some point, you're going to be you look, 30 minutes with me. We're going to get you going. We're going to get you on a plan. I'm going to articulate to you what this all means, and it's going to make sense. Lactic sprinting is one way that you can increase your longevity over time without doing anything other than running very fast. So, what does lactic sprinting mean? Let's just do basics. Lactic sprinting is somewhere between 40 and 60 meters of sprinting, all out sprinting. But when I say all out, in training, all out is not 100%. It means probably 97 to 98%. Acceleration is probably 99 to 100%. But we're really focused on relaxation through the top end speed, the mid to top end speed. We don't really want to reach max. We just want to reach form perfection and almost top end speed. And then we stop and we rest for full 3, 4, 5 minutes. We do not care about feeling tired. We do not care about making a hard workout. We care about speed, precision, acceleration, and resting. And then repeating that effort 4 to 6 times. Okay. So, um, one of the ways we're going to start, though, if you're a novice, you can't do these workouts. There, when you do this stuff, when you do a workout like this that I just outlined, 4 to 6, 40 to 60 meters, you are going to feel really bad the next day. You can't start that way. So here's how you start. One of two ways. First way, we're going to do what we call strides. So if you're a runner, I don't care if you're a sprinter, middle distance, or long distance, strides can be helpful. Okay? Strides. That's where you ramp up your pace on the grass or soft surface, ideally, if unless if you live on a concrete island like Chicago or Jacksonville, Florida, I feel sorry for you. Okay. Anyways, um, you try to find a soft or grassy surface. Let's do a ramp from, we're not accelerating. We are starting from a jog and going into close to maybe mile to 800-meter pace. It's not a sprint. We're ramping and then we're slowing down. And as we hit that top end 800 to mile pace, then we slowly ramp down after 50, 60, 70 meters. We slowly ramp down. We don't stop right away. We ramp down to a jog and then we stop. And then we rest for about a minute or two, and we repeat the effort for 2 to 4 times on a soft or grassy surface. Let's be clear on that. And also, let's be clear, you don't have to do any of this. I have been running for approximately 25 years at high local level. So I ran 60 minutes for 5K, 425, 430 for a mile. I've run 155 for 800. So, and then also I've sprinted pretty fast. So you're not doing that. If you were going to start sprinting, start with these strides I talked about on a soft surface. Let's just start with 2 to 4. Ramp up to mile 800 pace, then slow down, rest for 1 to 2 minutes, repeat. Now, if you get to that intermediate level, get to that advanced level, we can start to talk about lactic sprinting, which I spoke about in the first part of this video. Now, when we do the lactic sprinting for the first time, we're not doing from a standing motion. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be doing it from a running start. So let's imagine you're on a track, okay? I know you love my hand motions. I'm Italian. You're on a track. If the starting line is here, you're going to start 10, 20 meters behind it. You're going to start jogging. When you hit the starting line, that's when you accelerate. We're not doing a standing start. We do not care about timing or anything like that. All we care about is health, longevity, and starting to get into sprinting. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. Now, if you have questions about this and you're like, wow, I'm actually interested in sprinting, I'm interested in longevity, I'm interested in increasing my testosterone levels naturally without doing all this radical, ridiculous bullshit with health, like you can just do this stuff naturally. Maybe you should run faster, maybe you should sleep more, maybe you should lift some weights or something. I know that sounds ridiculous, but like, let's do it, okay? So if you're intermediate to advanced, let's do 2 to 4. That's on you, not me. 2 to 4, know your body. I'm watching you. 2 to 4 accelerations of 40 to 60 meters on a soft surface or a track. You can do either. And we're going to do it from a running start, 10 to 20 meters behind the starting line of that sprint, that lactic sprint. We're going to jog up to the starting line, 10 to 20 meters behind. Going to jog up very lightly. On the starting line, we accelerate. And the reason we want to do that in a running start is to avoid injury and to get used to that pace, that acceleration, that speed. We're going to inject it into our legs, and then you're going to go for 40 to 60 meters, which is not very long. It's about half of 100 meters on the track. So a quarter of the track. If you're on a track, quarter of the track. At the end of your approximately 50-meter acceleration sprint, you'll walk back and rest for 3 to 5 minutes, no less than 3. Okay? You want to keep yourself healthy. You want to keep yourself in a mentality where you're sprinting very fast, where you're feeling okay to do another session, another repetition, so to speak, of what you did in the first rep, because you're going to have to repeat that a couple more times. Now, if you're intermediate to advanced and you're just getting into the sprinting, just start with 2 to 4. After 4 to 8 weeks, you can go to 4 to 6. Okay? Now, if you're super advanced, if you've been sprinting, if you have a history of sprinting and not getting injured, I'm going to recommend some hill sprints. Hill sprints should be done on a grassy soft surface, but if you only have a concrete jungle in Chicago or Jacksonville, Florida, which is possible, that's kind of what we have here in America, then find a hill or a bridge that has some sort of slant. Maybe it's like this, where you can do a running start 40 to 60 meters up that bridge. Same aspect of what I previously talked about with the 40 to 60 meter sprints on the track or grassy surface. The reason that you want to incorporate hill sprints is because the hill, the mountain, the slant forces you to run in a better form. You can literally run up a mountain or like a switch or a bridge. You will feel yourself have better form. You're forced to have better form. So the sprints on the hill, the slight uphill, are for form, for acceleration. You're not going to feel fast, but you're going to feel an acceleration and you're going to feel like you have good form. You're forced to have good form on when you run up a hill. And so if you're advanced, you could do hill sprints once or twice max per month. Okay. 4 to 6 repetitions, full rest, 3 to 5. Again, that's on you. If you decide to do this, you are putting yourself in a position of something where you may feel weird, you may feel overstretched. So you want to make sure you're getting enough rest. No less than 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes rest after each repetition. And then also, you have to know your body. If you haven't done sprinting, don't do any, you're not advanced. You're a beginner, maybe you're intermediate. So start slowly, start with strides. Okay? That's on you. I'm giving you the tools to start to sprint, to start to inject some speed into your legs, some lightning, some acceleration, some longevity. These are things that are going to make you feel good. But you have to have a foundation. You have to have some leg strength. You have to be working out a little bit. And, you know, if you're concerned, you could talk to your doctor if you need to. Your doctor, most doctors these days, I would say 80 to 90% of doctors don't know what they're talking about. But there are some really good doctors out there. They're just few and far between. So, sprinting. Lactic sprinting is not about effort. It is about form, acceleration, speed, and rest. And I gave you the novice, intermediate, and advanced level. It is up to you to discern where you're at in that cycle, so to speak. And then it's also up to you to make sure you don't get hurt. So if you have a local coach, if you have, most doctors don't know what they're talking about. Most of the doctors I talked to said I would never run again 3 to 4 times. And here I am running 30 minutes, 60 minutes a day. So, yeah. Anyways, beside the point, I want to try to get you thinking about sprinting, lactic sprinting, not lactic where you're like overdoing yourself, you're building up lactic acid in the muscles and you need to rest longer. Or, sorry, where your recovery is going to take much longer over time. Lactic sprinting is meant to be done once per week. If you're super advanced, maybe twice. But most of you will not be doing lactic sprinting more than once per week. You'll do one session on a flat surface, ideally a soft surface. Maybe you'll do every other week or once per month, you'll do a session on a hill, soft uphill, or bridge. So, I'd love to know what you think. If you think it's helpful, put a comment here and let's talk about it.